Who knew Disney had so much surreal material in the back of the vault? Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 WTF Disney Plus movies and shows you've never heard of. For this list, we're taking a look at movies and shows being made available on the upcoming Disney Plus that stick out due to their eccentric titles and bizarre premises. The quality of the film or show is not a factor. All that matters is that they're relatively obscure and offbeat. Number 10. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
Applejack, Chisholm City Social Club, 137 Feb 29, Animals 740, Table 6.
Hey, boss, I had nothing to do with this, I swear.
Before he was Snake Plissken, Kurt Russell took center stage in some of the Walt Disney Company's goofier films. In The Barefoot Executive, he teamed up with a chimpanzee who's better at picking TV shows than the bumbling network heads.
The chimp is picking the shows, not the boy.
Well, we can't really tell. He might not even know what he's looking at.
But Russell's wackiest Disney collaboration would have to be The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes. Russell plays an average college student who becomes an overnight mastermind after getting shocked by a supercomputer. Because science. To prevent the human computer from winning a quiz show, Russell is kidnapped by a greedy businessman played by the original Joker himself, Cesar Romero.
16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, $28,000.
If you think that's kooky, Russell trades brains for brawn in one sequel entitled The Strongest Man in the World.
I mean, I can remember him being fired at least 5 times. I've only been here 6.5 years.
Number 9. Darby OGill and the Little People. 3 years prior to his debut as James Bond, Sean Connery played a strapping young Irishman in this adaptation of Hermione Templeton Cavanaugh's books.
And there were the little people dancing all around in the moonlight.
Well, aren't they the bold creatures?
While Connery is the biggest name in the film, character actor Albert Sharp plays the titular Darby OGill, an elderly storyteller who stumbles upon a hidden society of leprechauns. From its quirky characters to some highly noticeable dubbing, the film is not without its awkward moments. On the whole, though, the effects are quite impressive for 1959. The story is draped in classic Irish mythology, and there are even some legitimately creepy moments involving a banshee.
Keep off now! Keep off now!
If you're in the mood for a lesser-known Disney film that's as weird as it is wonderful, follow the rainbow to this pot of gold.
Darby, you've wished your 4th wish. Goodbye, Darby, me friend.
Number 8. Can of Worms.
I am the Boom, your new best friend. You need my help, Mike Pillsbury.
When you sit down to watch a Disney Channel original movie, you can usually expect something cheesy, silly, and maybe a little bonkers. Can of Worms takes the absurdity to another level, though.
Woohoo! So, the story is classic. A young boy, gifted with superior intelligence, but alone in life, reaches out. He's carried to another world where he must start anew.
Teenager Mike Pillsbury just doesn't fit in at school. So naturally, Mike jumps to the conclusion that he's an alien and tries to make contact. His harebrained plan shockingly works, and Mike is visited by a talking alien dog named Barnabas.
You talk?
Through my translating device, yes.
And yes, that is Malcolm McDowell's voice coming out of the dog speaker. The film only gets zanier from there, as a series of alien puppets show up on Mike's doorstep, one of which is a slimy lawyer. With a setup this crazy, how can you not open this can of worms?
You'll be Earth's primary franchisee. Silkscreen t-shirts, your face on breakfast cereal boxes. We'll start
Go out on a date? It would be lots of fun.
Number 7. Unidentified Flying Oddball.
508. It really works. You really can turn back the clock. Here. Albert Einstein, you really knew your stuff.
If you grew up in the 90s, you may vaguely remember A Kid in King Arthur's Court, which centered on a modern boy who's sent back to medieval times. That Disney film was predated by another loose adaptation of Mark Twain's A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. Unidentified Flying Oddball is indeed an odd film, following a NASA astronaut and his identical android who wind up in Camelot.
You recall my explanation of the law of gravity and how that theory is applied to orbiting objects? Well, stardust...
Yes, we all recall.
Both are played by Dennis Dugan, who'd go on to direct various Adam Sandler comedies. This may be a G-rated Disney flick, but it actually works in some pretty risque humor, including a gag involving an adult magazine.
Hold that till I get back. There's some very good articles in it.
Throw in a woman who thinks her father is a goose, and you've got one trippy cinematic experience.
It is most brave, isn't it, Father?
Number 6. Sultan and the Rockstar. Originally airing as an episode of Disney's Wonderful World, Sultan and the Rockstar isn't exactly what you'd expect based on its title. No, the Sultan in question is not the ruler of Agrabah.
I just want to make sure you're taken care of.
Rather, it's the name of a domesticated tiger. There is a rock star played by Timothy Hutton, but even this is kind of misleading. Early on, Hutton's character abandons his rock star lifestyle, not to mention his taggy wardrobe, and escapes to Hunter's Island. While there, he strikes up a friendship with the gentle jungle cat, who's being hunted by totally over-the-top villains.
Luck doesn't have anything to do with it, does it, Sultan? Huh? Nah.
Funnily enough, this movie came out the same year that Hutton gave an Oscar-winning performance in Ordinary People. We're guessing that Academy voters didn't catch Hutton in this flick.
Because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the way she looks at me.
Number 5. The Secret of the Magic Gourd.
Hey there, Mr. Sparrow. Did you catch that worm?
While most of the films on our countdown are from the 20th century, The Secret of the Magic Gourd was released in 2007. If you've never heard of this Disney movie, that's probably because it was a co-production with the Chinese company Centro and China Movie Group. This live-action CGI hybrid was never released theatrically in North America, and we can see why. It's strange. Really, really strange.
The freakish, walking, talking magic gourd. Didn't your granny tell you about me?
Bailey?
Yep.
So you're him? The magic gourd from all those stories?
Oh, we have a winner!
The story revolves around a young boy who befriends a wish-granting gourd, which is a fruit in case you didn't know. The only thing cornier than the effects is the English voice dubbing, which includes Corbin Bleu of High School Musical fame as the Magic Gourd. This is one you simply need to stream to believe.
It's pretty cool, huh? Ever see anything like this?
Number 4. The Shaggy D.A.
If I get Slade pegged right, his next stop is Rorschach's warehouse.
Oh, good.
We're gonna be there.
Chances are you've at least heard of The Shaggy Dog or its 2006 remake starring Tim Allen. Yet fewer people are familiar with this sequel to the 1959 original. Coming out over a decade and a half after its predecessor, The Shaggy D.A. replaces Tommy Kirk with Dean Jones as Wilby Daniels, who is once again turned into a sheepdog. This time, Wilby has even more on the line, since he's running for district attorney. Wilby's political rival is played by Keenan Wynn, who is clearly doing whatever he wants and having a ball in the process.
It says, in canis capare transmuto. In canis capare transmuto.
The effects are unbelievably phony, and the performances aren't exactly Shakespearean. If you're in the right frame of mind, however, it is charming in a clumsy sort of way.
I'll take you anywhere, but you gotta promise me something.
Anything.
Good, because I'm gonna go down and blow Harry's mind.
Number 3. Mr. Boogedy.
I'd like to welcome you to our town and warn you, get out, or it's too late.
Mr. Boogedy is a bit like a tamer version of Poltergeist or Beetlejuice, which is to be expected from a Disney Sunday movie. Actually, this made-for-TV movie also served as a pilot for a series that ultimately wasn't picked up.
Some people say he sold his soul to the devil that night. Sold his soul for a magic cloak.
It did inspire a sequel, however, entitled Bride of Boogedy, which unfortunately is not launching with Disney+. The 1986 film centers on a family that moves into a haunted house where they encounter ghosts, mummies, and of course Mr. Boogedy, who looks like Freddy Krueger if he were exposed to plutonium. With a lighthearted mix of humor and horror, the film is sure to entertain children of a certain age, as well as adults who grew up watching shows like Goosebumps. 2, The Cat from Outer Space. You've probably noticed that Disney has produced a lot of movies that don't sound particularly grounded in reality. When it comes to outlandish titles, The Cat from Outer Space takes the tuna.
I gotta tell you something, pal. It's dumb. Very dumb. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drink your last beer, then I'm gonna watch 3 football games on your television set, and then I'm going home.
It goes without saying that our main character is an alien cat who lands his spacecraft on planet Earth. Possessing a collar with telekinetic and telepathic abilities, the cat joins forces with a scientist to help him reach his mothership. The filmmakers make it no secret that this entire setup is, for lack of a better word, dumb. The fact that the movie doesn't take itself especially seriously is largely part of the fun though. By the way, did E.T. copy this scene where the cat makes a motorcycle fly away from the authorities?
Now you hang on.
Okay, truth be told, I had heard of 2 of these, but only 2. So yeah, these are obscure. Any idea which is the most obscure? Let's check out some honorable mentions, and then we'll see the #1 Disney Plus property you've never heard of. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Fuzzbucket. Fuzzbucket is another unsold pilot that got repurposed as a Disney TV movie. This isn't entirely surprising because, well, the titular character looks like an Ewok that mated with a possum. Granted, Fuzzbucket is invisible for the film's first half, leading us to assume that he's young Michael's imaginary friend.
Where are you now? Sure, I'll help you, I guess. I can't drive, but I got a bike.
Of course, this also means we need to sit through about 20 minutes of Michael talking to open space. When taken out of context, many moments come off as borderline uncomfortable, particularly when Michael says,
Fuzzbucket was tickling me.
Oh, and he kisses the overgrown hairball too. The film is only made more awkward when it tries addressing real-life issues, like struggling marriages.
Something I want you to know, Mikey. There are a lot of things that make your mother and I unhappy, and we tend to yell at each other sometimes.
For fans of movies that are so bad they're good, however, Fuzzbucket is definitely worth streaming.
Fuzzbucket, love you, but got to go. 12 o'clock's coming soon. Can't go poof.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.